evening and welcome to the July 20th meeting of the Milton Planning Board. Tonight Larry Brown will be sitting in for Bob Graham and we have a complete board. First on the agenda is a public hearing, open space subdivision and site plan application for Northeast Pond Road, map 23, lots 40 and 44.
Yes, I have a couple things to say about this. As you know, before you can have a public hearing on an application, you have to invoke the jurisdiction of the planning board to have that public hearing and review the application before you. I am recommending that the board do one of two things, and it's up to you. I will tell you that the applicant sent an email, I think it was yesterday, that has requested that the board approve their request to withdraw. That would take a motion from you to approve the request to withdraw. And I'm going to explain what this all means. I know that they want to withdraw because as the planner, I've told them that their application really is incomplete. And I believe that it's incomplete for a couple very good reasons. One, that there are no draft condominium documents submitted with the application. There are no conservation deed considerations or even any narrative about that submitted with the application. And there was a mix-up with regard to the requirement to have elevation views. They assumed that elevation views that had been submitted quite a while ago, when they came in for preliminary review, were just going to be added to their submission package. And that didn't happen, and you don't have them, and the public, during the public notice period, didn't get to see the full application because it wasn't all there. One of the things that I think needs to be talked about is the fact that draft condominium documents, the so-called condominium instruments that are called out in our RSA 236, are mostly condominium declaration documents and condominium bylaws. The planning board especially, and of course the public too, should have been able to see those draft documents even while they were going to the town attorney. The open space subdivision regulations under authorization to issue a conditional use permit say that prior to final approval by the planning board, the applicant shall submit for review by town council any deeds, restrictive covenants, condominium or cooperative agreements, conservation easements, deed restrictions, legal documents related to a homeowners association or other illegal agreements proposed for use in the open space subdivision, and that especially applies to the larger lot that's meant for conservation. We don't have those, you haven't seen them. I'm recommending that the board do one of two things, and I'm going to circle back around to this, that you don't have these things. The public didn't get to see them. This was a bit premature. There are some other reasons for that. I'll take some of the responsibility for this mix-up, and because of that, I'm recommending that the board move to accept the withdrawal and have them start over. They have also asked that you waive the application fees for when they do come in with a complete application. You cannot waive the public notice fees or the abutters fees. All of that has to go out again, and it has to be paid for by the applicant. The other thing that you could do, there's two more things you could do. The other thing that you could do is move to not accept the application as complete, and that kills it right there. The request to waive fees happens. I think it looks a little bit better, especially since I'm taking some responsibility for maybe doing things prematurely and maybe not making sure that all the documents were here and that they went to the town attorney. None of that happened. I met with the applicant today, with Julius and the chair, and I think he said he takes some responsibility too, and he's backing that up by asking the board to allow him to withdraw. I do wanna read you one thing, just so you understand this. There can be no public hearing tonight if you move to allow him to withdraw, or if you move to not accept the application. There'll be no talk at all about this case, because there's no public hearing. I just wanna read what RSA 676:4 says about the board's procedures on plats. It says the procedures to be followed by the planning board when considering or acting upon a plat or application submitted to it for approval under this title shall be as set forth in the board's subdivision regulations, subject to the following requirements. Now, there are several here, but I'm gonna only read you the second one. That's B, that's Roman 1B. The planning board shall specify by regulation what constitutes a completed application sufficient to invoke jurisdiction to obtain approval. A completed application means that sufficient information is included or submitted to allow the board to proceed with consideration and to make an informed decision. A completed application sufficient to invoke jurisdiction of the board shall be submitted to and accepted by the board only at a public meeting by the board. That's where we are right now tonight. So I'm saying there is not sufficient information. I'm saying that the applicant realized it after consultation with the applicant, and that he's requesting you to allow him to withdraw and start over. And then waive the fees, not the butters notices. That's it in a nutshell.
Thank you. Gentlemen?
Can I ask a question to Bruce?
Yeah.
The fees that would be waived, how much is that?
So I'm gonna need you.
Yeah, so to submit this application, it would cost roughly, it costs exactly $988. That primarily is comprised of the public, notices, 250, actually, kind of ranges depending on the time, because it goes to the newspaper. And so that's roughly about $250, $300. Then there's also on top of that the $8 per abutter fee. So that roughly, that makes it so that the fees that would be waived would be consultation fees on the town planner, and it also includes land use review, which is just, be planning board chair, planner, and me getting together and to, meet and look over these plans actually.
Site plan review fees.
So we're saying what, probably no more than 500?
I was gonna say, it would probably, I didn't add it all together, but I think it's about $450.
Okay,
Of
Thank you.
Any more questions or comments from the board?
I have some additional comments,
Oh, okay, sorry.
if that's,
Go for it.
so, I get it, I mean, there seems to be a little bit of mix up here, but this applicant has been in front of the planning board several times, has come for more than one preliminary review, has voiced their opinion on several different things in the town at several different meetings, and in that has stated several times about all the experience this person has doing this type of thing, and I just feel that I do not think we should waive any fees, because I feel that the applicant should have known better based off all his experience and how many times he's been in here and what he's told us. So I don't think it's fair to the town. I don't think it's fair to the townspeople. It causes a lot of upset in the community. There's a lot of people here tonight. It wastes employees' time at the town hall. So I think we just need to really keep that in mind when we make the decision tonight.
Any more from the board? Mr. Brown?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The general question, if I'm understanding correctly, is that whatever the board's decision, there will be a new application come before the board, at which time, irrespective of any time commitments and loss of convenience that the butters and interested people have had, they will have full notice and be able to attend the
Yes.
new meeting.
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted, the other thing is,
Go ahead.
when I go to, I like chocolate ice cream. When I go to the Pink House, I order chocolate. I have my plans made up, I know I want chocolate. I've bought chocolate before. After a while, you should be able to figure out what you like and how to do it.
Thank you. Matt?
So,
Follow that up, Matt.
I don't know if I can, but just a question, is the applicant doing 3 buildings?
You
Or
can't
is-
talk
Okay,
about
we
that.
can't
You
discuss
haven't
that.
accepted the
Yeah.
application,
Yeah.
or allowed it to be withdrawn, you can't talk about the case.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll propose a motion that the planning board accepts a withdrawal of the application, however denies any fees to be waived in the future.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous? No?
I will, abstain.
Okay. Thank you. That's it, folks.
This is the best meeting I've ever been to. I loved every single thing. I loved all of your words. I wish I had it recorded. They were wonderful. They were like music. I loved all of your questions. I loved this whole meeting.
Thank you.
Carry that over when we meet again. Yeah, carry that over for next time, please.
I'm always in a good mood. Depends on how it turns out. All right.
You absolutely should. Thank you for taking the
Well, we have other things, but not related to this.
That's right. Excuse me, is this meeting over?
No.
Okay. Ryan, is this meeting over?
No, we still have other business, public comment, and minutes to review.
You want respect, you've got to earn respect. I'm going to tell you guys, thank you very, very much. There were so many people that said that you guys weren't listening. You listened and you went by the books. Thank you.
Thank you. If you'd like to leave, we'll hold up for a minute. We'll get back to our meeting. We'll take a 5-minute break.
You're welcome to stay if you want, but
I guess they weren't here to hear us.
basically just approval of minutes.
Don't we have the gas station thing?
And I'm not sure what we have for other business.
The mobile station? No.
No, I don't think so. We'll just finish up the review of the minutes, other business.
Yeah, that's it.
Other business, I can talk to you about, the Exit 17 gas station.
There you go.
Water well fiasco, a little bit
That was
fiasco.
good for that.
Just to give you an update, that's all that would be.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to argue. I know, that's why I got it. Because these guys deserve the respect.
So let's review the minutes of July 6, 2021.
I move we accept the minutes as proposed.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
That, I was at that meeting, so I did not abstain. I forget who it was.
Yeah, you were somebody else. I think the minutes say.
That was vanilla ice cream.
What?
Other businesses taken care of? Any public comment? Other than anything that we spoke tonight on? Not happening, I'll close public comment. There's only one thing left on it, guys.
Oh, we gotta hear. He's got some
Well,
comments.
just under other business,
What-
Mr.
what you
Chairman.
got?
I just wanted to let everybody know 3 things really quickly, as an update. You're waiting with bated breath, I know you all are, to work on the MS4, changes to ordinances, and even a standalone stormwater management ordinance. And, it's crickets from Stratford Regional Planning Commission. I think that, I don't know what they're doing, but I'm gonna ping them. So I would think that in the next meeting or so, we'll be bringing you some drafts. We'll give them to you in advance, on that MS4 requirement. With regard to the whole town work plan, Julius and I met with the town administrator last week, and we went through, the list of things that needed to be done. The town administrator has taken on, some of the ones about the newer, amended or extended contract with Geo Insight that's working on all of the requirements that the town has to do. I'm reviewing the stormwater management plan draft. Julius has been working on posting on the website the work plan that we finalized, the organizational chart for MS4 that we finalized, and tell us where that is, Julius.
Yeah, so you can find it underneath the website. It's on its own separate committee page.
MS4, right?
Correct. Yeah, so you can find it underneath there, MS4 committee. It should have a breakdown of all the pieces and a nice little photo on it, so it looks nice. So just take a look at it when you get a chance.
So the work plan has like 3 spreadsheet sheets. They're huge, and it has things that we have to do. Some of them are planning board related. We're on the cusp of working on that. Some of them, fall to the town planner and the land use assistant to do. One of them was getting maps printed. Those maps serve 3 purposes. They get posted here in town hall for anyone to see where the impaired waters are and the MS4 areas that need to be fixed. Those maps are then used to sit down with the DPW director and staff so they can do a mapping analysis where all the outfall points are, and this gets pretty complicated, but that has to be done yet. There's a question about the water district and whether they fall under the MS4 requirements or not. There's other things. There's training. The training has happened. Let's see. Oh, and these maps also get added to the GIS system, but for now they're only on the staff-only site. I think that at some point we have to have a discussion about migrating all of that data to the GIS that anybody can look at. Right now they're on the staff-only site, so I think they should be on the public site, and we'll discuss that later. So that's the update with that one. We're still working on that kind of stuff. The second thing is the CIPC committee. I have been so backed up with all kinds of stuff from 2 towns that I have not started that yet. And of course, the planning board says to themselves, I'm washing my hands of that stuff. But on the other hand, you are going to have a couple of representatives, or 1 representative on that. So you should expect the usual email that says we're starting the process. Here's a tentative agenda. Here is last year's CIP spreadsheet, and here's where town meeting took it to, and here is was planned for 2022, and then we'll move on from there. Start our meetings. The third thing is the Exit 17 gas station issue. We've had people say, well, it's the town that holds them up, and that's can't be further from the truth. You heard about that in the last couple of meetings. But the Drinking Water Bureau has been asking them for final water reports on the second well that they've drilled. I don't know if you all know this, but the contractor drilled a well that was too close to the gas tanks, and it's on the site plan. It says here's the radius. You can't drill a well in there. They did it anyway. They had to cap that well, and then they had to officially abandon it and submit the paperwork, and they've drilled another well. They've been a little bit slow in getting the water results report to Tom, I'm not remembering his last name, at DES and the Drinking Water Bureau, but he pinged them last week, and of course I'm copied on all these emails. So this is just a status update that it's a string of things that they have to do that keeps them from opening, and that's the bottom line.
Thank you. Anybody else got other business they'd like to discuss, talk about?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night.
Now you guys have time.
I need to talk to you.
Thank you.
Am I in trouble?
No, no. Why you both there? Are these just on the ground?
Yes.
Yeah, they're not, they're like their own papers.
Oh, they don't need.
Well.
And I've been there.
You're not gonna get up there and you pass it on.
As long as you see it. Bring someone.
Tell you that it's better for me to protect you.